Hello. A build tutorial for the Horizon space cruiser. These are all the parts. I'm not going to build it piece by piece. I just sort of dissected my own plane, and then I didn't really plan a route. But if we start with the hubs, then of course you have a tile bay, and I prefer the tile bay actually if I have a ship with a cargo room, because if you cut in a bunch of stuff into a spaceship, you wouldn't want to climb up a ladder carrying all the shit on your shoulders. So, what's good about this is that it has a door on the back, so it's kind of has a realistic feel to it. You would walk in with all your heavy duty stuff and you'd walk directly into the cargo bay, which is here. It's called the cargo hole here. All the hubs are from Home Tech, by the way. But they can be exchanged for whatever. If you want to make a more streamlined modern ship, you can go all in on what they call Starfield or whatever. But it has a cargo room here, it has a companionway here in the corner, it has an infirmary here and a workshop on the side. And this is like the 16th interior layout I made on the ship that I went with, because all the other ones were wrong. They were spawning doors in wrong places, ladders in wrong places, and it appears that there's something magical about the companionway. It will have a tendency to draw in ladders and make it the only ladder in the plane, so it's kind of essential to have that somewhere if you want the ladder to be there. I haven't quite figured out how the ladder system works, but that's the lower level, and then there's the upper level, which consists of this battle station room. I have a computer core here at the front that could be exchanged for 2 other modules, maybe a 1x2 science module or something else. It gives me 2 extra crew stations, and it looks cool on the inside, but it's absolutely useless otherwise. On the side here there's a captain's quarter with a window on it, and at the rear here there's an all-in-one berth where I keep most of my crew. And then over here on the side of the battle station thing is a window as well. So I'll try to slam this together. When I take this part here and put it on top, I make sure that this corner of the battle station is on top of the companionway, because it will lure the plane into giving me a ladder going up through there. Let's see, there we go, nicely aligned. And what I really want to have is that ladder going up from the companionway through the battle station into the cockpit. This build gives me a single ladder up through there and no ladders anywhere else. And I can't believe how many tries it took to get that right. Then there are all the other elements. Some of the other elements are easy. For instance, this thing. It's just a snap-on. There's no glitch in here. It's just 2 of those Trout-Eggland structural pieces, and it has a scan jammer on the corner there. You don't need that unless you're going to smuggle shit. All of this is just standard build 2. Same front as this one. There's a landing gear under here. The Trout-Eggland Aculander 11, and then there's a pipe piece. There's the engine, and that's structural. It's called a bumper. I wouldn't recommend you bumping into anything, but I'm going to place it so that window can see out through the pipes there, because it looks really cool being in my cabin looking out through there, and I get some light in and I can see out. And actually that's where the coffee machine is in the Home Tech, and there's a sofa and stuff here. So yeah, I sort of made the build, the windows and the details around the modules, or the interior that the whole modules have, but yeah. For the other side there's going to be a bit of glitching, so I'm going to do this front first. I have this landing gear here which does not want to be on top of that, but it's underneath the nose here. If I want that radiator to go in there, I'll have to glitch it in. So I'm just going to rip this off for now and place this element. I've made it yellow so you can see it's something I use for glitching and it's not part of the build. So I place it in on top of it. If I hover over that radiator and press Ctrl G, it'll snap under. I just press the mouse and lock it in place. I'm going to be using that for later. So that's the first glitch in. I'll put the front on. There we go. What to do next then? Well, this piece here is easy. That fuel thing goes underneath the all-in-one berth, and it has an engine on top of it, or on the side, or no, not the side, the back of it. And it has that cargo thing here on the side. I chose a shielded one so I can smuggle stuff should I ever want to. This corner piece here is kind of complicated. It's just a reactor with a radiator. So you can just put that in. It'll snap nice and tidy. And then there are these two structural pieces who go here. And this, well, it's these engine braces that go up through these, or go up through this with a piece of Damer's spine on it and then a gun. And if I want to do that, I'm going to have to snap glitch it in. If I just remove the top module here, I can take those two and put them in place. Then I'm going to have to snap this in. If I'm lucky, the reactor will help me snap it in place. So if I just put Ctrl G here, it snaps under and I can delete that. And then I can put the spine in. I'm going to grab the gun by the equipment plate because it's going to need an equipment plate for it to... It won't snap on its own, so you need an equipment plate there and the turret facing backwards. You can turn these, you know, by pressing C or Z. Yeah. So that's that corner. What do we need then? Oh, there's this build. Yeah. Well, to get this rear thing on, there's some different things you need to do. The landing gear, which sits on the side of that fuel thing, goes there, and you have the grav drive going in at the bottom. Those two things, the pipe piece and the radiator, they don't really snap glitch very well. So I'm going to take this and take it off. I can't remember, how did I do this originally? Probably like this. Take the cockpit off, take my snap hab here, put it on top instead. So if I take this radiator thing and put it in its place, it'll be there. Then I want that pipe thing to snap down on top of that, so I'm going to need another one of those. I hope this is how it'll work. So put that in, and I Ctrl G it, and it should snap underneath. And it did. That was lucky. And then I'm going to take this. I have to place it lower than it's supposed to be. But if I Ctrl G it now, it should snap up and take its right place. Oh, well, it did. Then I want the engine in there, but it's not going to fit in there because of this landing gear. The underneath of this engine sticks into it, so it won't sit there. But if I move it up a place, it'll snap in, and I can Ctrl G it down on its place. There, we're almost done now. I'll rip these two things off and put the cockpit back in place. Then there's this thing. It looks simple enough, but it isn't. I'll show you how I did this originally, because it's a hassle to get everything in place. You place these two things in here first, like this, and then you have these two things at the back. Place those in. Then you have that hole. Well, in that hole you're going to need to place a landing gear and an engine brace, a cargo hold, and an engine brace coming through that. Well, it's kind of, well, it looks more complicated than it is. The way to do it easy is to, well, we're gonna need to remove that thing If I put these two engine braces in where it's supposed to be, and then snap the stuff that's going to sit on it on to begin with, that's the easiest way to do it. Then I remove these two, rip them off. I put the landing gear in, I put the cargo thing in, and of course these two things are not connected until I put these two things in. So I put them in too high, but because these two things are now here with a snap point on, it'll gonna go down and snap onto them. At least it should. I couldn't see it here because it's concealed, but it'll be in there, trust me. Like you can see it here, it's underneath there. And then you just pop this on, and you pop this on, and the window back in place. Then of course I have the guns, the one on the top, the one on the bottom. Oh yeah, that's right, it doesn't want to go in because of that landing gear. Oh, bugger me. Oh, I thought that was going to be so easy. I'm ripping this off again. So, my gun needs to go in before the landing gear, meaning that the cockpit will have cockpit will have to go off, window will have to go off, and I'm going to need to establish the landing gear down onto its place, which is easy enough. It's just a bit dropped in here. So snap it too high, Control G it once, Control G it twice. Now it's there with a gun. I'm not using that anymore. So the pipe thing back, the window back, the cockpit back, and now this gun will just snap on like it's supposed to. And that thing is not needed anymore. And this, well, this is just stuff to stick on. All of these habs can have top lights. I chose to sort of make a spine here with a shield on it, to have all the way down the middle here. And then in my captain's quarters I like to have a window here, and I like to have this massive gun on the line of the radiator and the turret. And that's the whole ship actually. Oh, it's done. Well, I hope you can. I didn't really make a plan for how to do this. I just sort of made it up as I went along. You can always start the video or pause it, or if I did something too fast or whatever. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy. Goodbye.